Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad ASYRAAF bin MAZLAN. So our topic is about IIUM should stay on a long-term online platform for teaching and learning even after the lifting of movement control order. So our group members are Muhammad SALEEM, AZRI bin AZLAN, KHOIRUL ANAM, ABDULLAH FARIS, and myself, Muhammad FIRDAUS Ashraf. So let's move on. Back to December 2019, the world was shocked by the pandemic of COVID-19, where it was started in China and kept spreading around the world. And the huge number of people infecting is alarming, which required quarantine. And the COVID-19 pandemic has affected globally, including Malaysia, and our country as the most affected sector among those sectors is education sector. And IIUM, as one of the educational institutions in Malaysia, has to change the learning method from ordinary face-to-face classes to ERTL, emergency and remote teaching and learning due to the pandemic. IIUM has started the ERTL since June 2020, and it is still ongoing until now. Therefore, this report is mainly about IIUM, whether IIUM should stay on a long-term online platform for teaching and learning even after the lifting of movement control order. Now, we are going to apply the 6 thinking hats to this topic. The 6 thinking hats includes white, red, black, yellow, and green, and also blue hats. Now, let's go. White hat. White hat is merely about the facts of the case. So, in this topic, we have carried out a survey which via Google Forms to the IIUM students, and we managed to get 89 respondents total from IIUM students, which 43 of them are male students and 46 of them are female students. Among the questions asked were whether IIUM should stay on a long-term online platform for teaching and learning, even after the movement control order. The result is about 60 people disagree, while 29 of the respondents agree to stay on an online platform even after the movement control order is lifted. Now, in terms of data connection, about 60 respondents answered that they have data connection, while 29 of them answered that they do not have data connection. We also asked in the Google form whether does data connection requires cost, and the answer is about 85 respondents agree that data connection requires cost, while only 4 respondents disagree that data connection requires cost. Also, we asked that, do you have conducive learning environment? And the answer is about 66 respondents answered they have conducive environment to stay for online learning. And about 23% answered that they don't have conducive learning for online learning. Among the reasons given were they don't have such a private rooms for study, and they was distracted by smartphone, video games, and among the major reasons given were they have a big number of family. Next, we also ask, do you have compatible devices for online learning? 84 respondents said that they have compatible devices such as laptops and smartphones, while 5 of them said that they don't have compatible devices. A compatible devices means the laptop is updated, the smartphone is updated to keep aligned with the online learning method. We also asked that, do you believe you can perform well via online learning platform? And the answer is 39 of them said that they can perform well via online learning method, and 50 of them, which is majority of them, said that they can't perform well via online learning platform. Now, in terms of communication with lecturers via online learning, about 56 of the respondents feel hard to communicate with the lecturers via online learning platform, and while 33 of them said that they have no problem to communicate with their lecturers via online learning platform. Now, regarding the resources of online learning platform, how they feel on getting resources via online learning platform. 40 respondents feel hard to find resources via online learning platform, while 48 of them feel they have no problem on finding resources via online learning platform. So that's all from me. Let's continue with the red hat. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is AZRI bin Azlan, and we moving on to the red hat of thinking. So in this hat, we view this issue in an emotional way, and we think that IIUM should not continue in a long-term online learning. The first reason is because the student will facing stressful and uncomfortable environment. For instance, if a student live in a big family and they share room with their families, the noises came from their siblings and the conflict between their mother that order them to do chores and to attend the classes and to study. It will make the student become stressed and uncomfortable. So this will negatively affect student performance. Other than that, student also will face unstable emotion in attending online classes. Why? For example, I am a student and I am now attending online classes. Suddenly, my internet connection become unstable and I hear my lecturer voice becomes laggy, and at the same time, my lecturer is giving the most important point in a particular topic. So, uh, in this situation, we can see that it will decrease the enthusiasm of student in learning and studying. The worst case is some student did not even have a compatible device to do online learning, and that is why if this continue, the student will face depression, and that's why IIUM should not continue in a long-term online learning. Thank you. We're moving on to the black hat of thinking.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is KHOIRUL ANAM BIN AFFANDI, matrix number 1924265. I will be presenting under blackheads. Okay, what is blackheads? Blackheads is a pessimism approach. Okay, first, the pessimism approach that we can find is no compatible devices. Okay, most of people have financial problems since they were jobless during the pandemic COVID-19, so that they don't have enough money to buy the tools for online learning. Okay, secondly, it requires strong and committed time management. There is no fixed schedules as using an asynchronous methods. Students tend to delay watching or hearing their pre-recorded lectures. Okay, thirdly, how to prevent the cheating during online assessments. Students are exposed with all teaching and learning materials with them, so that the department face difficulties in order to prevent any form of cheating during the online assessments. Besides that, it lack of two-way communication between lecturers and students. The two-way communications was had to do due to the technical problems and lecturers being unable to understand the questions. If communications was done through the platforms such as WhatsApp or email, it will take the time to receive the responses from the other parties. Okay, apart from that, inability to focus on the sequence for a long time durations, because it can cause a severe eye strains. And can also easily be distracted from focusing on the screen due to the surroundings disturbance. Okay, next, it requires a high amount of internet data and networks. Um, Study online requires a high-speed network to avoid the problems such as lagging. Therefore, students need to spend some cost in order to upgrade their data plans. Besides that, problem of lagging in computer literacy so that they will have problems using the software and applications. Last but not least, online learning not suitable for all topics or study. Some topics or study require practical learning, which is hard or impossible to do through the online learning. Thank you. That's all from me. So now I will pass to Brother Salim to present the yellow heads. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Salim bin Abu Bakar, metric number 1910103, and I'll be presenting on the yellow hat. IIUM student can also gain benefit from online learning, and under this yellow hat, we will discuss on the benefit if IIUM choose to stay on a long term of online learning for teaching and learning. The first point was save time and energy. What is meant by this is students no need to walk to their class. As we know, for some students, their location or venue of their class was quite far from their mahalla or wherever they are. And this required them to walk in order to reach their classes. By using online learning, students will just need to open their laptop or gadgets in order for them to join the online learning. The second point was can be done anywhere. Since we know during the breakdown and using online learning, most of the students already go back to their hometown or countries, and most of the IIM student was international student, and this allowed them to access to the online learning platform to anywhere they are. And the third point was can be accessible at any time. What is meant by the point can be accessible at any time is online learning does not have a fixed time for the student to join the platform. So this allows the student to join the online platform wherever they have free time, since the pre-recorded lecture or the virtual classroom can be accessible 24 hours, and then helps to improve virtual communication and collaboration. What is meant by this is students will have the opportunity to develop critical leadership skill in which they can actively participate in a group discussion to contribute or generate their idea in it. And then the next point is learn new technical skill. What is meant by this is this will able to give the student an opportunity to learn new technical skills that they didn't have before, such as how to create a meeting, how to settle down an assignment through Google Doc, and how to have a nice actively participating group discussion. And the final point was can to get the score of the quizzes or assessment immediately, since we know if online learning was being used, the system will do the marking by itself, and this will save time for the student to get back their result, unlike physical learning, which require the lecturer to do manual marking, which will take time for the student to get back their result of the quizzes. With that, I will pass to Brother Faris to talk on the green hat. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Salim. My name is ABDULLAH FARIS bin NAFI alias HANAFI, metric number 1914049. And today I will presenting for the green hat. And the green hat divided into two main initiatives, which is student initiative and university initiative. For the student initiative, first of all, student can try to set a daily goals to achieve many goals as possible. As this need to be organized, the student need to do a to-do list to achieve or accomplish all the goals. And the second one is student can create a dedicated study space or a study room, or also in their own bedroom. With the room set up for the study so that they can focus, and the arrangement of the table need to be minimized as possible to allow student to be more focused in online class and study. And the third one is student can practicing to do one works at a time without doing multitasking, as multitasking is good but it also bring a lot of bad habits which can be avoided when doing a one task at a time. And also can be more productive and high quality of works and tasks. For the university initiative, first of all, University can provide financial aid or internet data to the student. This can help students to be more stable in the connection and the internet, so that the student doesn't have problem to study and doesn't have problem in learning the online learning period. And the second one is university can amend the syllabus, which means university can encourage lecturer to minimize the workload and also lessen the burden of student. And university also can encourage lecturers to change the group assignment to individual assignment, so that it can help student to on the grade. That's all for me. That continue to Brother Azri for the blue hats.
And lastly, the decision maker, which is the blue hat. But before we decide whether IIUM should continue or should not continue in a long-term online learning, there are things that need to be considered. Student conducive environment and stable connection are the two main things in continuing online learning. Why? Although you have disciplined yourself in terms of time management and or being productive, if you cannot place yourself in a conducive environment and having unstable connection, what's the point? Then if we can see, some of the solutions are actually not solving the problem. For instance, if all students are having compatible device, thanks to financial aid from IIUM, can we secure the stable connection to all students around the world? So these are things that we consider, and we decide that IIUM should not continue in a long-term online learning. So that is our decision, and that is why IIUM stated ERTL, which stands for Emergency Remote Teaching and Learning. So in a nutshell, some problems and discussion are provided in the presentation. So after the pandemic is gone, physical classes as usual is the best way of learning. But how Islam viewed this issue, or we can say that the golden thinking hat. In Surah Al-Mujadilah, verse number 11, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala blessed the people who were given knowledge with darajah or degrees. So, as a Muslim student, we should be enthusiastic in attaining and gaining knowledge, because Allah will provide us this darajah. We also see some of the great scholars of Islam, their hardworking and efforts in attaining knowledge by traveling the world day by day, years by years, so we can make them as our role model today. So that's all from us. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.